Today marks the next round in the race for the U.S. Democratic Party's presidential nomination. Candidates have their eyes set on Nevada. Laura McQuillan is here to take us through what we need to know. Set the stage for us, Laura. What are we watching for?
All right, John, a lot to watch for tonight. And we don't actually know if we're going to get the election results tonight, so it could be another long one. But of course, the man to watch, Bernie Sanders. He's leading the polls. We saw him come out on top in Iowa and New Hampshire. Can he do it again? If not, it's going to look pretty bad for his campaign. And we have seen some pushback against him just in the past couple of days from the very powerful culinary union. They are worried about his healthcare plan. So that will be something to watch in the results tonight. But certainly he's on top right now. Watch that space. Elizabeth Warren, now we saw her dominate the debate, really taking shots at Michael Bloomberg for 2 hours on stage. Can she channel that momentum into votes? And one key issue here is going to be that so many advance votes have already been cast before she even took the stage, some 75,000. So she's going to be, well, missing out on the momentum she might have otherwise got from those votes, but certainly it will be a pivotal moment for her campaign. Whether she can stay in the top or whether she falls back might be some tough decisions, and others having to make tough decisions as well, John. These three, the moderates, vying for the centre there. Now, Joe Biden has made it very clear that he wants to see how he does in Nevada, a more diverse state than the ones that they have had primaries in already. Meanwhile, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar wanting to see whether they can pick up votes between racialised voters, because they have done well with white voters in those primaries we've already seen. Can they continue that, or will the moderates fall apart tonight? Watch for that. But, of course, when it comes to voting, as I mentioned, early votes, and the other thing to watch, John, as we saw in the caucusing in Iowa, will things fall apart due to technology? Now, we know that tonight they are not going to be using an app. They actually threw out an app made by that same app maker that was used in Iowa. They're instead going to be using handwritten notes. They're going to be using some Google Sheets, but that's kind of a backup option. So what they'll be doing is phoning in results, texting in photos of results, and then handing them in as well, trying to avoid any of those problems that we saw in the earlier caucuses, John.
This, though, as perceived frontrunner Bernie Sanders, his campaign rocked by revelations of Russian interference. What can you tell us about that, Laura?
Yeah, that's exactly right, John. So Bernie Sanders wanting to get a lot of momentum tonight. But as you mentioned, these allegations coming out in the past day, coming from the Washington Post, revelations that he had been briefed on attempts by Russia to influence his campaign, certainly to help his campaign. Bernie Sanders admitting yesterday he'd been briefed on that a month ago. It hadn't come out until then, but his message was, you know, he does not want Russia's help. They should stay out of the campaign. Take a listen to what he told reporters.
Mr. Putin is a thug. He is an autocrat. He may be a friend of Donald Trump's. He's not a friend of mine. The intelligence community is telling us they are interfering in this campaign right now in 2020. And when I say to Mr. Putin, if elected president, trust me, you are not going to be interfering in American elections.
Now, something else that we heard from Bernie yesterday, John, is that he believes the timing of that leak was deliberate, but he didn't name any names who he thought might have been behind it. But certainly it comes just one day after revelations that Congress has again been briefed on Russian attempts to help Donald Trump in the election. So a lot to watch for there, but really everything right now hinging on Nevada tonight. That's what we'll be watching for.
Thanks for this, Laura.
You're welcome.